Here's why sunk cost fallacy matters more the longer you actually pay attention to it. Sunk cost fallacy refers to the tendency to keep investing time, money, or effort into something because of what's already been spent, rather than what makes sense going forward. Whether you're new to psychology or you've been reading about this for years, understanding this one piece can quietly reshape how you see yourself and other people. Here's the core idea worth understanding. Recognizing the sunk cost fallacy helps people cut losses on relationships, jobs, and projects instead of doubling down out of pure momentum. Once that clicks, a lot of the related ideas in psychology start to make a lot more sense. Let's talk about the actual research behind this, because the evidence is often more specific than people assume. Research shows people are more likely to finish a bad meal they paid full price for than one that was free, even though the food tastes the same. That's not just a talking point, that's the actual finding behind why this pattern gets discussed so much. Here's where most people get this wrong. Many assume past investment should logically factor into a decision about whether to continue. It's an easy trap to fall into because it sounds reasonable on the surface, even though the research tells a more complicated story. Here's what's actually happening. Rationally, money or time already spent is gone either way. The only thing that should matter is what happens from this point forward. It sounds almost too simple to be true, but that's usually exactly why it surprises people the first time they learn it. Here's a real example of this in action. Continuing to fund a failing project specifically because so much has already been invested is a textbook case of this fallacy in action. That's the pattern worth noticing, and it's a pattern that keeps showing up across different studies and real-world situations. One more thing worth clearing up. Many assume past investment should logically factor into a decision about whether to continue. But rationally, money or time already spent is gone either way. The only thing that should matter is what happens from this point forward. Once that misconception is out of the way, the rest of this topic gets a lot easier to actually apply. One more thing worth knowing. Researchers increasingly use large datasets and even machine learning to reanalyze classic psychology studies, checking whether older findings actually hold up at scale. Used well, that kind of tool helps separate genuinely solid research from ideas that just sounded convincing at the time. Now, a quick caveat worth adding. None of this is fully settled science. Sunk cost fallacy isn't a single fixed fact. It's more like an evolving area of understanding that keeps getting refined as researchers run new studies and replicate old ones. It's also worth saying this applies whether you're brand new to psychology or you've been reading about it for years already. The specific studies and numbers keep getting refined, but the underlying pattern, the one thing that actually makes this useful in real life, tends to stay fairly consistent across most of the research. A question that usually comes up at this point is whether this applies to basically everyone or just some people. The honest answer is that recognizing the sunk cost fallacy helps people cut losses on relationships, jobs, and projects instead of doubling down out of pure momentum. And the effect size varies from person to person, but the basic pattern we just walked through tends to show up pretty broadly. So if you're taking one thing away from this, sunk cost fallacy isn't about memorizing a single study, it's about building the right mental model. Understand what's really going on, avoid the misconception we just talked about, and let that one core idea reshape how you think about yourself and the people around you. And if there's a bigger shift buried in all of this, it's that sunk cost fallacy rewards genuine curiosity more than quick judgment. You don't need to memorize every study. You need one clear mental model that holds up, one you can keep building on as you learn more about how people actually think and behave. That's sunk cost fallacy broken down the way I wish someone had explained it to me. If you're in this for the long game too, drop a comment so we can nerd out together.